Juice from these pineapples will be sold on the world market. This project in Africa receives support from Germany. It's going well and will even yield a profit this year. Dirk Niebel, German development minister, likes such projects, especially ones that benefit from German know-how and involve German firms.
It's a contribution to fighting poverty. Up to 500 people in the area will earn a living here, and they're making a product for the world market. It will ensure long-term that people can finance their lives through their own work.
Development aid is directed at suffering people in underdeveloped areas. That was the case and still is the case. But the approach has changed over the years. In the 1960s, Erhard Eppler served as one of West Germany's first development aid ministers.
From
the start, the basic idea was to help people to help themselves. That means we wanted to help developing countries to help themselves.
At that time, different ministries each had their own development aid programs. It was all rather scattershot. Eppler wanted to bundle West Germany's aid efforts and focus attention on specific projects and basic needs.
It was first and foremost about basic things, such as food, housing, education, and so forth. Not necessarily economic growth, but basic human needs.
Political interests also played a role. During the Cold War, West Germany withheld aid from developing countries that recognized East Germany. When the Iron Curtain came down, the new unified Germany was confronted with conditions in what had been the Soviet bloc and was interested in exercising its influence there. It carried on with projects started by the now-defunct East Germany in Albania, for example.
German taxpayers have to foot the bill, but they have enough to bear with the burdensome legacy of communism in the former East Germany.
Development policy changed as the world changed. For many years, some countries received no development aid from Germany because it did not consider them sufficiently democratic or where human rights were not upheld. After the 9/11 terrorist attacks in the United States, the Muslim world came into focus. The new idea was that aid could help reduce terrorism.
I was always of the opinion that a society only attains true stability when there is more justice, more participation, and when women can play an active part. The belief that one can combat Islamism and enhance stability by stabilizing despotic regimes has proved a spectacular failure.
The current development minister would like to do everything differently. He's keen to support the economies of the recipient countries, and he wants German companies to benefit. He says the help them to help themselves approach is no longer appropriate.
Development cooperation in a globalized world benefits all parties, the developing country and the so-called donor country, which can contribute to creating political and economic stability and thereby create new opportunities for itself.
His predecessor, Heidemarie Wieczorek-Zoll, was also interested in cooperation, but she says Niebel's approach is too focused on advantages for German industry.
It's not about exports. That's not the task of development policy. We have to be very careful that such wrong decisions don't eventually delegitimize our development policy in the eyes of the people.
Dirk Niebel would most like to make development aid superfluous. But that point has not been reached. In fact, his ministry's budget has grown.
Wherever development-orientated governments work together, we see successes. Wherever that is not the case, we can support civil society in the hope that the people's desire for change will lead to changes in their government.
One thing has remained the same over the years. Germany's development budget has never matched its promises.